Defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defense calls Antoine Salvador.
Sir, do you solemnly swear the testimony you shall give this court and jury and the issue now pending between the Commonwealth and the defendant at the bar shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Kindly call the officer.
Watch Tim have a seat right here.
Good morning, Mr. Salvador.
Good morning.
Would you please introduce yourself to the jury and spell your last name so the court reporter can record it?
My name is Antoine Salvador, last name Salvador.
In what city and state do you live in?
Lynn, Massachusetts.
Are you a student?
Yes, I am.
What are you studying?
Clinical psychology.
And are you a doctoral student?
Yes, I am, sir.
What degree are you pursuing?
PsyD.
And PsyD stands for Doctorate of?
Psychology.
Now, when's your birthday?
July 16th, 1987.
July 16th. Do you recall what you did on your birthday, July 16th in 2012?
Yes, I do, sir.
What did you do?
I went to Cure nightclub.
And while you were at Cure nightclub, did you, anything special happen? Did you meet anyone special?
Yes, sir.
Whom did you meet?
Aaron Hernandez.
And do you see Mr. Hernandez sitting in the court?
Yes, I do, sir.
And is that him in the purple shirt?
Yes, it is, sir.
Now, I want to ask you about what happened when you were in the Cure nightclub. Did you ask Mr. Hernandez for a picture?
Yes, I did, sir.
Can you tell the jury what happened, how that transpired?
So I seen him walking down the stairs, kind of left him alone for a little while. Then I went up to him, asked him for a picture. He first politely declined, and I told him it was my birthday. He said okay. We went towards the back area of the club where there's another room, and he...
Well, before you go to the back area, did you have to seek any permission to go to the back area?
So, yes.
And tell the jury about what happened. Who asked?
So
who,
before we entered the back area, there was a security guard there that originally didn't want to let us behind there to take the picture. Aaron Hernandez asked if he could take the picture back there. The security guard then said yes.
So for the first time when the security guard declined, who asked the security guard?
The first time I asked the security guard.
And that's when he declined?
Yes.
All right, I'm sorry for interrupting. And then
the second time, Aaron Hernandez asked if we could take the picture back there, and then he allowed us to take the picture.
All right, so you went to the private room.
Yes.
And you ended up taking the picture.
Is that a question? I didn't hear an answer.
You went to the back room, sir?
Yes.
I'm showing you what's been marked as defense exhibit, as exhibit 302. Is that the picture you took with Mr. Hernandez?
Where should I look for the...
Counsel, it's not appearing on the screen.
Here we go. Is that you to at least my right?
Yes, sir.
And is this the picture you took that evening with Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, sir.
Were you able to determine from your device what time you took this picture?
12:33 a.m., sir.
Now, where did you go after you took this picture?
Back to join my friends.
And did you see where Mr. Hernandez went?
Back towards the middle bar area.
Now, did you have occasion to ask Mr. Hernandez anything else?
I went to go grab another drink, and I seen him waiting for his drink to come. I asked him if he would like a drink. He politely declined and said, "I'm all right," got his drink, and that was it.
Now, after he declined your offer to give him a drink, did you see him leave or did he stay around? What did you see next?
I didn't see much after that.
How long would you say your interaction with Mr. Hernandez was from the first point that you saw him, including going to the back and taking a picture and then asking him if you could buy him a drink? How long of a period would you say that interaction was?
7 to 10 minutes.
So during that anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes, did you see anyone bump into Mr. Hernandez?
No, I did not, sir.
During that 7 to 10 minutes, was it your impression that Mr. Hernandez was angry?
No, sir.
During that 7 to 10 minute interaction, was it your impression that Mr. Hernandez was upset,
No, sir.
furious,
No, sir.
enraged?
No, sir.
Now, did you see, during this 7 to 10 minute interaction with Mr. Hernandez, did you see a stain on his shirt that appeared to be the result of a spilled drink?
No, sir.
No, overruled.
Did you see any moisture on his shirt at all?
No, sir.
Now, I'm going to take you to the end of the night. So that was your birthday. Did you stay until Cure closed?
Yes, I did, sir.
What time does Cure close?
2 o'clock.
Did you go straight home or wait for what all of us have now learned is something called the let out?
Yes, spill out, sir, yes.
And what is the let out?
A gathering of young individuals hanging out after the club, outside of the club.
So after you experienced this let out, did you see Mr. Hernandez again that night?
Yes, I did, sir.
What were you doing?
Walking towards the parking garage.
And what parking garage, as best you recall, were you walking toward?
I do not recall. It's the Emerald Lounge parking garage.
So what street were you walking on when you encountered Mr. Hernandez again?
I believe it's called Stewart Street.
Did you speak to Mr. Hernandez?
Yes.
What did you say?
Thanks earlier for the picture.
What did he say?
No problem. Have a good night.
So when you saw him at the end of the evening and you spoke to him and he said, "Have a good night," did he seem angry?
Not at all, sir.
Did he seem upset?
No, sir.
Furious?
No, sir.
Enraged?
No, sir.
Vengeful?
No, sir.
Malicious?
No, sir.
He seemed normal. Is that fair?
Overruled.
Yes, sir.
Now, may I approach?
You may.
I'm going to very briefly show you what's already been marked, some number for identification. Fortunately, my eyes aren't that good. So when you left the Cure Lounge that night, you were, it's fair to say you were right here on the corner of Tremont and Stewart?
Yes, sir.
And when you described the area where you saw Mr. Hernandez, were you walking down Stewart Street past the W Hotel?
Yes, sir.
Now, in relation to the corner of Tremont and Stewart, about how far down Stewart Street were you when you saw Mr. Hernandez?
Halfway down that strip of land, I guess.
And you are, so do you know where the Tufts parking lot is? Are you aware of the Tufts parking lot?
Yes.
And does that look like the Tufts parking lot down this way?
Yes, sir.
Your testimony, to be sure, is that you saw Mr. Hernandez here on Stewart.
Yes, sir.
Objection.
Now overruled, you can deal with it.
Right. Now, I'm just going to show you just a couple more questions, Mr. Salvatore. I want to show you, and your screen will come on in a second. I'm going to show you what's already been marked as Exhibit 58. And do you see the time at 11:24
Yes, sir.
p.m.? Now, and just for orientation, is this the corner where my cursor is of Stewart Street and Tremont Street?
Yes, sir.
Do you see yourself walking in?
Yes, sir.
Which one are you? You have a touch screen. You can. So it's fair to say you got there at or around 11:30?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you one more video. So we're going to talk about the famous let out. All right. All right, let me know when you see yourself, Mr. Salvador, at the let out.
I believe I just walked by.
And this was, you see the time at 2:10:44?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, describe what you were doing at this let-out period.
Hanging out, just talking,
And
recapping.
I'm sorry.
Recapping.
And after you finished talking, where did you go?
Past the W, towards Venue nightclub.
All right. So you were out here at around 2:10, give or take 56 seconds, and let's see if we can find you crossing the street. All right, let the jury know when you see yourself crossing Stewart Street.
Objection, Your Honor. That's not Stewart Street.
Crossing Tremont Street onto Stewart Street.
Judge, objection. May we rebut?
Uh,
This video doesn't show Stewart Street.
Tremont Street.
Well, it doesn't show him crossing onto Stewart Street either.
Overruled.
And we can use the map to be sure there's no confusion. When you cross the street, I'm just going to pause this. When you cross the street, I'm pointing at this, the exhibit right now. When you cross the street, you cross over by the W Hotel. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, sir.
And this would have been after the let out,
Yes, sir.
and some point after the video that I showed you with the time mark of 2:10 a.m., correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now if you could look at the screen, you see the time listed as about 2:13,
Yes, sir.
and let's know when you see yourself. Yep, was that you?
Yes, sir.
And what are you, where are you going?
Towards the W Hotel.
At any point that evening, did you see Mr. Hernandez in the other direction toward the Tufts garage?
No, I did not, sir.
So, after you see yourself crossing at 2:13 a.m., about how many minutes later, once you crossed the street onto Stewart Street, did you run into and speak to Mr. Hernandez?
I don't recall, sir.
All right, and would another minute or two to cross the street be a fair estimate and walk down that street?
Sustained.
You've walked that street before, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Used those garages before, haven't
To the
you?
leading.
Overruled.
Yes, sir.
And in so doing, at these let-out periods, how long traditionally does it take you to get halfway between midway down Stewart Street?
Objection.
Sustained.
Do you have a view? Excuse me. So we can do it this way. So once you cross the street, are you waiting? Were you looking for another let-out?
Objection.
Sustained.
That evening, once you crossed the street, what were you doing going in that direction?
Going towards the let-out outside venue and the W.
And what were you planning to do with respect to the let-out in front of venue and the W?
Talk to individuals?
So is it fair to say you weren't running down the street?
No, sir.
It's fair to say you were walking and being social?
Yes, sir.
Indulgence. So last area, so after a couple minutes of the venue W let out, is it fair to say then that's when you saw Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, sir.
Finally,
Object to that, Commissioner. That's not
A little delayed. Overruled.
finally, I want to ask you some questions about the Boston police. So, did the Boston police contact you at any... Well, let me ask you this first. Who contacted you first? My colleagues or the Boston police?
Your colleague, sir.
And did we tell you that we saw you on video and wanted to ask you some questions?
objection.
Sustained.
As a foundational matter, did we ask you, we wanted to ask you some questions about that evening?
Objection.
You may answer that yes or no without going into what was said, sir.
Yes.
Now, when, to the best of your recollection, did the Boston police contact you?
2 weeks ago?
So at no point after the evening of July 16th until 2012, until sometime after February of 2016, did the Boston police contact you, correct?
Yes, sir.
And only after my colleagues had contacted you, is that correct?
Can you repeat the question?
And that contact by the Boston police came only after my colleagues contacted you, is that fair?
Sustained.
So, you testified earlier that the defense team contacted you first. Is that your testimony?
You may answer that yes or no.
Yes.
Now, did you, the picture you posted, did you place that on any social media?
Yes, sir.
Did you in any way attempt to hide the fact that you had taken pictures with Aaron Hernandez on the
Objection.
evening of, or early morning of the 16th of July 2012?
No, sir.
Objection, Your Honor.
Overruled.
No further questions, thank you.
Mr. Lee.
Mr. Salvador, July 16th is your birthday, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so you were going out that night because as the 15th turned into the 16th at midnight, that was going to be your birthday, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and you went to Cure that night with some friends?
Yes, sir.
All right, were you drinking that night?
Yes, sir.
All right, how much were you drinking?
I do not recall, sir.
Okay. You don't recall at all?
I was not annihilated, sir.
Well, did you have closer to one drink or closer to 5 drinks?
I do not recall.
Now, Mr. Sullivan asked you some questions about when the defense contacted you. The defense contacted you on March 10th of this year, correct?
I do not remember the exact date.
Okay, is there something that I have that might refresh your memory about when you were contacted?
Is that a question?
Yes, approach the witness, Your Honor.
You may.
Just going to ask you to read the first line of that document. Does that refresh your memory, sir, about when you were contacted by the defense investigator?
Yes, sir.
Okay. March 10th, 2017, correct?
Yes, sir.
That was like 23 days ago, right? Roughly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that was the first time you ever talked about what happened on the night of your birthday back in 2012, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so by my math, that's about 5 years and 4 months after all this happened. It's the first time you were talking about it and being asked to remember all these little details about what took place inside a Club Cure, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And they tried to help refresh your memory, correct? The investigator? You didn't know, for instance, that you went into the club at 11:24 p.m., right?
I knew I went before 12 o'clock, sir.
Okay. And you didn't know that you walked out of the club at 2:11 in the morning, right?
I knew I walked out after 2, sir.
After 2. All right. But in terms of the exact times, you didn't come up with an exact time as to when you walked out of the club, right?
No, sir.
And you didn't come up with an exact time of when you went in the club.
No, sir.
You didn't tell the defense investigator, I walked in at 11:24 and I walked out at around 2:11, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. They helped you come up with those times by showing you some video, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's understandable because 5 years and 4 months had passed, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, you went downstairs when you got into the club and you were hanging out with your friends there, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. Salvador, showing you what's been admitted as exhibit number 42. Actually, I got a better one. Exhibit number 38. Does that look familiar to you?
Yes, sir.
And that's the bar area of Cure, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you walked down there, and where did you go? Can you show us with your finger? And you and your friends went there, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and then you said you saw Mr. Hernandez come walking down the stairs, right?
Yes, sir.
Shortly after you walked in there.
I would not say shortly after, sir.
Okay, isn't that what you told the investigator?
I do not recall, sir.
When Mr. Hernandez came down the stairs, you said he immediately went to the left side of the bar, correct?
No, I said he went to the middle.
Okay. You didn't tell the defense investigator that Mr. Hernandez came down the stair and immediately walked to the left and headed to the bar, specifically the left side of the bar?
He was on this side of the bar.
Okay.
So,
My
yes,
question
the
is,
left
do you
side.
remember saying those words to the defense investigator?
No, sir.
Okay. So your testimony is that where you drew that circle is where Mr. Hernandez went?
This area, yes, sir.
And then at that point, you noticed him and you decided that you were going to ask him for a picture, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell us what you said to him?
Do you mind if I have a picture?
Are those the words you used to your best memory?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how long did it take you to say that?
Like go up to him or say
How long
those
did it
words?
take you to just say those words? Do you mind if I have a picture? 3 seconds? 2 seconds?
I guess 3.
Okay, you can time yourself if you want.
I don't have a...
Okay, you agree with me
recording.
that it's about 3 seconds it took you to ask that?
Sure.
What did he say back to you?
No.
No.
Yes.
1 second, maybe?
He said, I'm all, like, not now, I'm all right.
Not now, I'm all right.
Right.
2 seconds.
Sure.
Okay. So what happened then?
Then I told him it was my birthday.
Okay. Another 2 or 3 seconds?
Yes.
What happened then?
He said, all right.
Another second.
Sure.
What happened then?
We tried to... he tried to find an area to take the picture.
Who tried
and
to find the area?
Aaron Hernandez.
Okay, what did he do?
Looked around.
Looked around?
Yes.
Okay.
And then went to the side room.
Show us the side room. Okay. That distance is about 15 feet, right?
I do not know, sir.
Well, is that the first time you've ever been in Cure?
No, sir.
Okay. You have no idea what the distance is?
To exact T, no, sir.
Well, I'm asking you to estimate.
I'm not good with math, sir.
You're not good with math. Okay. And that private room that you called is actually behind that main bar, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So you guys walked there, and you took the picture,
Yes, sir.
right? But you had a discussion first with the security guard who said he didn't want you to go back there, right?
Yes, sir.
What did he say to you?
No one's allowed back there.
No one's like, how long did it take him to say that?
I don't know, 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Then Mr. Hernandez said something about, well, it's his birthday, right?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said, I'm a basketball player, he just wants to take a picture. Can we just get back there, please?
And how long did that take him to say? About 5 seconds?
Sure.
Okay. Then you go back, and you take the picture.
Yes.
And then you come back out, and Mr. Hernandez goes where he goes, and you join your friends.
Yes, sir.
Then you decide you're going to get a drink.
Yes, sir.
And you walk up, and there's Mr. Hernandez standing at the bar.
Yes, sir.
You ask him if he wants a drink.
Yes, sir.
What did you say to him?
Can I buy you a drink?
How long did that take you to say?
5 seconds.
About 5 seconds. What did he say back?
No, I'm all right.
No, I'm all right. Okay. How long did that take?
4 seconds.
You'd agree with me, and I understand that you might not be great at math. You'd agree with me that's about 30 seconds worth of conversation, all told. 35, maybe 40.
Maybe.
Okay. And the walk from the bar to the back, distance of, it's not 50 or 100 feet, is it?
Again, I don't know the distance.
You can't tell us whether the distance from the middle of the bar to that back room is greater than or less than 50 to 100 feet?
No.
You can't, okay. And you snap a picture back there.
Yes.
And your estimate was that this entire thing, about 40 to 45 seconds worth of conversation, and a walk from the front of the bar to the back of the bar took 7 to 10 minutes?
So when I said that, that was also talking about when he came down the stairs and went to the bar.
How long did it take him to walk from the bottom of the stairs to the bar?
I do not know.
Okay. Well, you see the distance there, right?
Yes.
Okay. That wasn't going to take him 10 minutes, was it?
I do not recall if he spoke to anyone in between there.
Well, you said you were watching him, weren't you?
Yes, I watched.
Didn't you say that he walked directly to the bar?
He did go to the bar after.
Did he talk to anyone on the way to the bar?
I do not recall.
Okay. So when you say you do not know whether he was talking to anyone, you actually saw him walk from the landing to the bar. And you don't remember whether he talked to anybody or not.
I saw him come down the
You
stairs.
saw him come down the stairs and walk to the bar, right? Because you noticed him.
Yes.
You're a football fan, right?
Yes.
All right, you saw him, you noticed him, you thought maybe you'd get a picture with him. So
Yes.
you were focused on him. In fact, that's what you told the defense investigator, right?
That I wanted to take a picture with him.
That
because
you
he's a
were
football
focused
player?
on him.
Yes.
Now, after Mr. Hernandez politely declined your offer to buy him a drink, did you look at him or stare at him or take note of what he was doing from that time to the time he left the club?
No, sir.
Okay. In fact, you don't even know when he left the club, do you?
No, sir.
All right. And so if somebody did bump into him, let's assume somebody did bump into him, how long do you think that would take?
Objection.
Sustained in that form.
I'm going to ask you to assume that somebody bumped into him.
Objection, not an expert witness.
And let's hear what the question is.
How long would you estimate a bump would take?
Objection.
Sustained.
So you did not pay any attention to him once he politely declined your request to buy him a drink, correct?
Correct.
Now, you came here today and you estimated for Mr. Sullivan that it took 7 to 10 minutes. You remember telling the defense investigator that you thought it took 5 to 6 minutes?
No, I do not recall.
Objection.
Grounds?
Improper impeachment. He's approaching the witness with a statement that's not his.
See you at sidebar. Mr. Lee.
Thank you. Mr. Salvador, the judge very deftly pointed out that the time between March 10th, 2017, and your birth date in 2012 is actually 4 years and 8 months, not 5 years and 4 months, as I clearly miscalculated. So I stand corrected there. But I asked you if you recall telling the defense investigator that this incident took 5 to 6 minutes. Do you remember that question?
Do I remember the question? Yes.
Just now. Showing you what I just circled there with a pen, does that refresh your memory about what you told the defense investigator the length of time this whole incident took?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what you told him was that it took 5 to 6 minutes, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Salvador, I'm going to show you this video. And, Your Honor, I apologize. The exhibit number is obscured. I will get that momentarily, but this has been admitted previously as an exhibit. For the record, exhibit number 56. Mr. Salvador, that's you, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the time on the clock there says 2:10:32. It's still you there, right?
Yes, sir.
Who's that person?
Friend?
Friend. Ryan?
Yes, sir.
And that's Ryan walking away, correct?
Yes, sir.
And now you walking away, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, it's 2:12:40, and you went out there roughly at 2:10:30, 2:35. That's roughly when I circled your picture on that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so roughly 2 minutes. I don't want to get into a math problem, but 2:12:40, and you walked out of there and you walked into that frame at around 2:12:35, maybe a little bit more. So you were out there for 2 minutes, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? That's what the tape says. You remember telling the Boston Police Department when you were first interviewed that you thought you were out there for 14 or 15 minutes?
Right outside of here?
Right, that you were hanging around out there for close to 14 or 15 minutes.
Right. Before they showed me the tape.
Right.
That's what I would
So,
have thought.
so you thought you were out there for a lot longer than you really were. Not that you were lying, but you thought when you were asked to estimate, you thought that you were out there for a lot longer than you actually were out there.
So again, I was also outside of the W, which was outside of Cure. So
I understand. I'm talking about right here, Mr. Salvador. I'm talking about this location.
You both done? You finish your answer, sir.
which question? Because
I'm talking about when you spoke to the Boston Police Department, you told them that you thought you were hanging around this area for close to 14 or 15 minutes until they showed you the video.
Objection, mistakes.
No, is that correct or incorrect?
I do not recall.
So keep in mind, 2:12:40, you're now walking off the screen on this camera 13 for the record. That's you, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 2:13:35, and can you orient yourself here?
Excuse me?
Can you orient yourself? That's walking up Tremont Street now towards the intersection of Tremont and Stewart, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, the corner of Tremont and Stewart is right there, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you see the time here is 2:13:35?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want you to follow yourself. Do you still see yourself there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 2:13:52, you've just disappeared, correct? Into what appears to be a bunch of lights.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, how long does it take, or how far is it from that corner to the front of the W? The W takes up that entire block, doesn't it? Or
Yes, sir.
most of it?
Yes, sir.
All right. How far is it from that corner to the front door of the W?
To the front door, probably halfway down.
Can you estimate for us how far that is?
No, I cannot.
Okay. And the front door of the W is when you thought you saw Mr. Hernandez,
Yes, sir.
correct? Okay. So, you have no idea how far it is from that corner to the front door of the W?
No, sir.
You'd agree with me, though, it doesn't take 10 minutes to get from that corner to the front door.
During a let-out, it could take an hour or more.
Okay. It can take an hour or more. Because during the let-out, the distance becomes greater?
No, actually, it's because we're socializing and we're standing there talking or walking and talking.
I see. So, this night, do you have any specific memory of how long you were on that street before you hit the W?
Meaning from right here?
From that point, 2:13:52.
No, I do not.
Okay. You have no recollection at all, because it was 4 years and 8 months ago, and that was not something that was at the forefront of your mind back then, right?
Correct.
Now, after you saw Mr. Hernandez in front of the W, he was going in the other direction, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you were walking towards Venue, he was walking towards Cure.
Yes, sir.
That was the last time you saw him, right?
Yes, sir.
No idea what he did after that?
No idea, sir.
No idea where he went?
No,
No
sir.
idea whether he got into a car?
No, sir.
Was he with him? Was he by himself or with somebody, to your best memory?
None that I can recall.
None that you can recall.
No.
Are you saying that you don't remember?
I remember looking at Aaron Hernandez and no one else around him was on his status, so they really weren't.
Okay.
I wasn't paying attention to them.
I just want to clarify, Mr. Salvador, when you saw Mr. Hernandez, your memory was that he came down with what you thought were 2 to 4 people, correct?
With meeting people that were around him?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And that after he declined your offer to buy him a drink, he basically went back to that group that you believe that he was with?
I can't say that, sir.
You don't know?
No.
So you have no recollection of whether he joined up with another group of people or whether he stood there by himself for the rest of the night?
Correct, sir.
If I could just have 1 minute, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Salvador.
Anything further?
Just very briefly. So, don't worry, I'm not going to ask you about seconds and so forth. Is it your best memory that sometime after 2:13, when you walked across toward the W, that's when you saw Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, sir.
All right. And when you were in the basement of Cure, were you wearing a necktie?
Yes, sir.
Did you have a stopwatch around your neck?
Objection.
Were you wearing a stopwatch also?
Objection.
No, sir.
No stopwatch?
No. Around my neck?
Around your neck, right?
No, sir.
So when you're talking to Mr. Hernandez, you weren't saying, can we take a picture?
No, sir.
You weren't timing that,
Correct.
right? And 5 to 6 minutes versus 7 to 10 minutes, is it your best estimate that you spent some number of minutes in that interaction with Mr. Hernandez?
That is correct,
Are
sir.
you trying to shade, Do you even have any idea why we're wrangling about 5 to 6 or 7 to 10?
No, I do not, sir.
Objection.
No, overruled.
Right, so are you trying to shade your testimony in any way whatsoever?
No, sir.
And what is your purpose here today?
Objection.
Sustained.
Are you here to tell the jury the truth to the best of your recollection?
Objection.
You're under oath.
Correct, sir.
Thank you. No further questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You may step down. Please watch your step. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm told there's coffee upstairs waiting for you folks. Take a brief recess.